Hello, everyone, and namaste. So, this will be my second part of the candle series. I want to apologize about the first one. I know that it ended quite abruptly. I swear I had filmed that like 4 times, and every single time something went wrong right around this time for what I'm going to be talking about today. So I decided to just say screw it and post what I already had. And then I decided I would just film the rest of it later. So that's what I'm doing today. I'll be talking about the different tips that you guys can do to implement candle magic into your rituals. So some of these are ones that I do quite often that I think are very powerful, and they help me greatly when I'm doing them, adding them to my rituals that I do. Also, some of them are ones I have never done before that I just heard of and that I'm very excited about actually doing as well. So one thing that might not be new to you guys, but that I really enjoy doing is whatever type of ritual that I'm wanting to do. For example, say I'm wanting to do a calming ritual to help me calm down and to carry that within me for the future, for like a week or a month or however long that I need it to last for. I will take an essential oil and drip it around the wick, and also dress the candle, put it on the outside of the candle, and use that while I'm doing my spell. I will usually, if it's a calming ritual, I'll usually use the blue candle, because to me the blue candle represents calm and harmony. So you could do that particular deal of dripping the essential oil with any type of candle that you want, any color that will help aid you in the type of rituals that you're wanting to do. But anyway, so for like the calming ritual, I'd use a blue candle, sprinkle whatever essential oil I feel is calming. Usually vanilla feels very calming to me. I know a lot of people use lavender for calming. And anyways, put that around there and dress the candle with it. Do your spell, whatever words that you want to say that will add in that energy to help calm you down. And then anoint your wrists and your forehead, your temple, your chest, wherever you think would be a good place to put the essential oil in order to be able to smell it on you while you're going throughout your day. And you can do that for, like I said, as long of a period that you think that you'll need it. Another thing that you could do is using colored paper instead of using a colored candle. You could use a white candle and burn a colored piece of paper that would go along with whatever color that represents for you, or whatever meaning that color represents for you. So for example, if you want to put your energy out there to draw love to you, what you could do is you could use a white candle, or you could even just use a lighter. You could use your little cauldron if you have one and put the piece of paper in there and burn it. And that's another way you could go about doing it. But anyway, so say you want to do a love spell and you get red paper and you would burn that while saying your spell. You could also write on the paper. That could go for any colored paper you want. You could do white paper, write on it, write a symbol, write runes, write a whole sentence, a whole paragraph, whatever you want to write your whole spell, anything that will symbolize what you're wanting to implement into your spell, into what you want to do into your ritual. And for example, if you're going to do that with the colored paper, I'll do the example of red again. For a love spell, you can write a heart on it, draw a heart on it, or you could write your spell of, I'm putting my energy out there to draw love towards me. Anything that you want, runes that are talking about love, and anything that you want, and then burn the red, and it will, that will be another way of doing the, instead of actually saying the spell, you could do it that way, and that will be what your spell is. That I think that that's a very powerful way of going about it. If you want to do just a white piece of paper, you could do the exact same thing with whatever spell that you want to do, and use a colored candle while you're doing that, of whatever you want to do. I think that that's very cool. I've done one of those once before. It was a very long time ago, but I'm really wanting to do another one of those, of using the paper, of burning it. And I think there's something very powerful about seeing the smoke rising from, and the ashes going from the paper burning into the universe. And it's basically like seeing your spell working. I think it's very beautiful. Another thing that you can do that implements that whole smoke aspect is blowing out the candles. I know you see that a lot with young children with the birthday cakes, and make a wish and blow it out. And that's, a lot of people don't realize that that is candle magic. You're putting your intention into it, and the whole wishing part, make a wish. You're thinking of your intent, and you're blowing it out. And as the candle blows out, the whole energy of the candle and of your intentions mix together, and it is carried, your energy is carried into the universe. And hopefully whatever you wished for will be drawn to you. That energy will come back to you. One thing that I found that was very interesting, that I didn't actually find out until I started to do this one, and maybe that's the reason why everything kept messing up on me, is because I hadn't got everything down yet. I know. Anyways, so I should have put this in the last one of the history of candles. So anyways, I found out today when I was doing more research about stuff that candle blowing out the candles for a birthday cake was actually first started in ancient Greece. They were worshiping Artemis, and she's the goddess of the hunt, but also goddess of the moon. And what they would do is they would bake a round birthday cake, and they would put the candles on top of it and light them, and that would represent the light of the moon. And then they would blow out the candles. And a lot of ancient cultures believe that the smoke from the candles being blown out raise up and go to the gods, to be able to have their wish granted by the gods because of the smoke rising. I thought that was extremely interesting, and very, very beautiful way of thinking about doing candle magic. So a couple other ones that I'm pretty sure you guys know about of doing candle magic is to put the candles around you in a circle while you're casting your circle. One thing that I like to do is to use the black candle and put them around me in a circle. And that way, because the black candle represents protection, it aids in that circle of keeping it protected from the outside energies. You could do that also with any color that you want. For example, if you want to invoke joy in your life, you can put yellow candles around you in a circle and then do your spell. And it's basically like a bubble of joy that's surrounding you. And I think that doing that with any colored candle is very powerful. One thing that I really love doing, and I'm not sure if a lot of other people do this or not, I'm not exactly positive how I even heard about it, but what I really love doing for a lot of that, I feel like it's a very powerful tool for myself, is to use the fire as a recharging source, as a recharging for my soul, as well as charging up my spells. So what I do is, for example, say I want to do one for relieving anxiety. What I'll do is I'll have my candle lit, and while I'm saying my spell, I move my hands around the fire 3 times, both directions, as I'm saying it. And the end of my 3 times both ways, I wash it over top of me. And that's a way of putting that mixture of my own energy as well as the fire within me. And I do that as many times as I want. Like I may say the ritual 20 times. I just as many times as I feel is necessary until I embody that whole spell. Just thinking about it makes me so excited because it's so beautiful and it's so powerful. I love it. So one thing that I do in pretty much every single ritual that I do when I am making items, for example, making pouches or making jars of spells or whatever I'm going to do, I always take what objects that I feel like needs to be mostly empowered with them putting into the pouches or the jars, and I light them over the fire with my confidence jar. I put the hematite inside of it, and what I did is when I had my candle, while I was saying my spell and everything, when I was saying my spell, I took my hematite and I hovered it over the candle 3 times and 3 times the other way. And I did that as many times as I wanted. Even after my spell was done, I kept doing it because until I felt like it was fully charged to the highest intent, until my energy that I was putting into it bonded with the fire energy and just made this super powerful thing. And there's other objects that I have in here, such as my wand bark and my magnolia leaf, that I had, hovered over the fire and let it kind of burn a little bit. And then I put them in there. And I think that that's very powerful, at least for me it is, because I think working with fire in that way is a very powerful tool. So another thing that you can do is, I'd already talked about how you can draw whatever you want onto a piece of paper and then burn it in the fire. Another thing that you can do is do the exact same thing, but write it on the candle. So you can write runes, you can write symbols, you can write sentences, whatever you want, and you can put it on the candle. And as it burns, you can keep that around for as long as the candle burns down. And if you have a really big candle, it can last for a very long time. And that's just another way of, for example, like if you only have white candles and you don't have any colored paper, or you don't even like the idea of burning the paper, you can write your symbol of whatever would represent to you the aspect of whatever the other candles represent, other colors represent. You could even write the name of, blue for calming, or black for protection, or you could put the protection rune on the candle, and when it's burning, it's exactly the same thing. So this one is one that I had never heard of before, but it sounds very interesting and I really want to try it out. So I read that you can sit in a dark room in front of a mirror and have your candle lit in front of you, and you stare into the mirror and relax your eyes, relax your body, and the more that you stare, the more that you'll see your face change. And the face is supposed to be, like, your face change is supposed to be, it's changed to what your face looked at like in a past life. I'm not sure if that would actually work or not, but it very well could. I really want to try it out. I think that would be very, very interesting. I for one feel like I'm quite good at being able to recall past lives, which I also call future lives, because I believe in the illusion of time, and there is no past, there is no future. It is just different lives. So I feel like I'm very good at recalling them. There's multiple ways that I do it, and I can get into that in a different video. But when I'd seen this one of being able to sit in front of the mirror and see the face change, I thought that was very interesting, and I'm definitely wanting to try that out and see if it works for me. One thing that I've done before, and this is another one that you can do for candle magic, is that I'll put the candle in front of me and look into the candle, into the light, into the fire burning, and then close my eyes. I'm a little reluctant about telling you guys that because that could be quite dangerous, and I hate to be the type of person that's like, oh, don't do this at home. Yeah. But anyways, so because it can be quite dangerous. There's studies been shown that if you stare into a bright light for an extended amount of time, it can damage your eyes, and so I don't want to encourage that. But if you do it for a very short amount of time, look into it for maybe 10 seconds and then close your eyes and meditate on that. You may have to do it a couple more times, but definitely don't sit there and stare at it for a couple minutes at a time, because over time, after weeks of doing that, you're gonna damage your eyes. So just be careful about doing it, and you'll be fine. But I've been able to meditate on that and find some very cool past lives. Another thing that you can do that I haven't done before is you can. So I read that I don't subscribe to zodiac stuff very often. I think that it's very cool occasionally. When I was younger, when I was like 14, 15, something like that, I had a book that told about all the different zodiacs and what the different signs were and what the overall characteristics, personality of somebody who was born in that certain sign has. And I'm a Libra, which I love. I think I think the characteristics for that fit me very well. And I remember thinking, like, hoping that I would like my future husband would be a Pisces. Very interestingly, when I was 15, it was 2 months before my 16th birthday, I met my husband, and he's a Pisces. So I thought that was very, very interesting of how that came about. And he's definitely very much a Pisces as well. So I believe in it to some extent, and I think that there's definitely some power in it. I just haven't worked with it very much, and it's something that I probably need to dive more into. But anyways, each sign is represented with a color. I didn't even know this. This is how clueless I am with zodiacs. Each color is represented with a zodiac, and what you can do is, with your candle, you could use the color, any type of deals that you can do with colors. So you can use the color of the candle. You could burn a piece of paper that has a color. You could write on it, write on the candle a color, or whatever you think represents the color, or the symbol of the sign of the zodiac sign. Any of those that I've already talked about that you can implement for the zodiac. What you do is you use that to power up and to become more powerful within your own within your own characteristics of the sign that you are. You could also do it to invoke the characteristics of other signs. So like for a Libra, like I said, I don't know the signs very well, so I'm going to use a Libra. Libra is very known for balance and judgment. It has the two scales and the balancing out of seeing both perspectives. And what you can do is, so like if I wanted to do that, like I would do a spell that would cause me to be more balanced and to be able to see more of the perspective of other people. to help invoke that. If you weren't a Libra, you could use the Libra sign to invoke that within your own self. And I think that's very interesting. So another thing that you can do that I'm sure you guys already know about is to do the rituals outside under the moon. And that would be a really good way of just more empowering your spells. And one way that you can do that is to do it during certain phases of the moon. I'm sure you guys already know these, but because there's tons of information out there. But if you don't already, I guess I'll just go through them a little bit. So the waxing moon is when it's the moon is gaining more and more until it gets to the whole full moon. What it symbolizes is gaining. You're gaining something. And for example, one thing that you can do is if you want to do for example, okay, I'll use the example of a love spell. That seems to be a very big one. What you can do is that you can use a red candle or burn a red paper or write a heart on the candle or write a heart on the paper and burn it. Whatever you want to do of all the other stuff that I'd already talked about. Do that under the waxing moon as a way of implementing empowering up your spell and aiding in that. So for the waning moon is exactly the opposite. It goes down and down and down until it gets to the new moon. And the whole purpose of that is that you're losing something. You think of losing something as something being, that's a negative thing. It's bad. But it's not, there's a lot of things that you would like to lose. I know there's a lot of things I'd like to lose. I'd like to lose my bad habits. I'd like to lose the anxiety that I feel every day. Anything like that. One example is cleansing the space in your house. You're getting rid of the bad things that is surrounding your house. One thing that you can do is to do your ritual outside while making a pouch to be able to hang inside your house that sucks out all of that negative energy. And I think that that's a really cool way of implementing the waxing moon into your candle magic. So the new moon is about healing and new beginnings, introspection and meditation. One thing that you can do with that is to sit under the new moon, and in the new moon it's dark. It's there's no light. And so one thing that I think I haven't done before, but I think I really want to try out, I think it would be very interesting to do, is to being a place that there are no lights around. There's no street lights, nothing like that. I'm not sure where you guys live at, and that might be very hard to do, but and it's actually kind of hard for me to do too, but I could probably find some place that is not as light. And go out there with your candle. And what I'm wanting to do is to do a deeper meditation with that, deeper introspection of myself, and have a candle lit and do my spell of invoking a deeper a deeper trance of meditation, and do my ritual with the candle of circling my hands while I'm doing my spell 3 ways. And then washing it over me. I think that will be a very great way to implement the new moon into doing that type of ritual. For the full moon, oh my gosh, the full moon, and this is the reason why so many people of the pagan practice love the full moon, is because you can do anything with it, and it just aids in empowering whatever spell that you're doing. It the light of the full moon, the light streams down onto you and your candle and whatever spell that you're doing, whatever ritual that you're doing, and it empowers it so much. It lights it on fire, So one thing that I think would be extremely helpful, at least for myself and probably for other people, is to do psychic abilities with that. Do a spell for invoking your psychic abilities. One thing that you could do that I've talked about before is I really love doing dream work. And so use a purple candle and invoke that third eye and do dream work. It's nighttime, it's the full moon. As soon as you get done with that, come inside and go to bed and do your dream work. I think that is a very cool way of using the full moon. But you can, obviously, like I said, you can do it with anyone that you want. If you want to gain, if you want to lose, if you want to do introspection, anything. But yeah, okay. So that's all I have for this video. And unlike the last one, I will actually be ending with a quote. So I found a quote by a woman that I never heard about again. And I'm definitely going to read some of her stuff. She's a writer. Her name is Edith Wharton. She was born in 1862 and she died in 1937. She's a 3-time award winner for the Nobel Prize for Literature. So evidently she's very good. There are 2 ways of spreading light: to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. I think that's very beautiful, because to me, with doing candle magic, you are embodying whatever spell that you're doing with the candle. I think that's a big part of how it works. So for example, like if you're wanting to do a love spell, and a lot of people think that a love spell means that you are drawing somebody to you. And in a way it kind of is. But to me, what it is that you do that spell to enhance the love within yourself. Since you've invoked that, the love comes out of you a lot more free. And because of that, others are drawn to you and you find the love. So I think that's how spells work, especially how candle magic spells work. So essentially, you are being the vessel that candle embodies. You're being the vessel for that spell, and you're reflecting what you wish to see happen. If that makes sense. I'm not sure if that makes sense to you guys. But to me it makes sense. You are the candle, because you're using the candle as a way of sending out that energy. Your body is the vessel to send out that energy of love, and you're reflecting the light. You're the mirror that reflects the light. You're the mirror that reflects the love. So you're reflecting that energy that you sent out there. You're reflecting the love that you had put into this spell, into the candle. And because of that, you are one with the spell, and your actions because of that reflect the love that you have put into it. I'm not sure if that made sense to you guys, but that's what it means to me. I'm sorry. Anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed the quote that I had talked about, and the different rituals that you guys can implement for the candle magic. And I will see you guys on the next one. Namaste.